issue I see when teams are trying to get a new project off the ground, or they're really wanting to kind of bring in some new ideas, is it gets really mixed up as to, you know, the creative element, the figuring out if the plan is going to work, and then really troubleshooting to see what are the gaps or what are the blind spots for this project. I want to share with you a great model, and it was designed by Walt Disney when he was creating Disneyland, to really help them get elevated with their thinking, come up with some really incredible and out of the box thinking for some, you know, ideas for Disneyland, at the same time making sure that it could execute well, and then equally be really clear of what are the red flags, like what are the problems or challenges that could go wrong. So my name's Yvonne Hilsz, and over the years of coaching and working with large organizations right down to small businesses, I see a common challenge where if there's not good structure for how you go into bringing life to a new project or an idea, it can get really stuck and not get its true potential off the ground. So I want to share with you a really great model that I use for individuals of business owners, and if they're a solopreneur, right up to large scale organizations where a department might need this as a strategy to continue their growth and momentum. So if you think of there's 3 stages to, you know, really bringing to light a new project, concept, idea. And if you think about it, even within a culture of how do you introduce some new elements to the culture that you're wanting. The first stage is getting everyone into the dreamer stage. And at the dreamer stage, you're at high level blue sky thinking where really no idea is too small, too big, too out there. What you're asking of the team and the individuals in the organization is to bring everything to the table when it comes to brainstorming new ideas. Now you do need to frame it up to the team that this is the stage where we are just bringing the ideas. We're not judging it, we're not critiquing it, we're not seeing if it works or not. What we're looking for is a brain dump of all of those ideas. And when you can get the team on board with that, you as the leader or as the owner of the business will often be surprised at how much information and fresh ideas are in your team already, but what they needed was the permission to actually go to that level and bring it through. And the question to kick it all off is, what do I want? And if you're an organization, it's obviously what do we want, to really kind of unleash that ability to be super creative. Now, once you've kind of gone into that dreamer stage, you're not questioning, you're not critiquing, it's just brain dumping all those ideas. You then want to move to the second stage. Now, here's what I suggest for all the teams and businesses that I work, is that you physically want to shift the location from when you're in the dreamer stage to the next stage to the third stage. So if I was running this as a workshop, I'd set up 3 stations within the room. We start off in the dreamer stage at one end of the room, we move to the next stage, and then we physically move to the third stage. Now, if you're running this as a board meeting, you could easily find 3 spots in the boardroom to do so. If you're running it as a sales team of how do we creatively figure out new ways to bring in new clients or to close more deals, you could physically move the team around different areas of the room that you're meeting in. And it is important because the value of having different energy, ideas, and emotion behind dreamer versus the other 2 is going to be incredible at getting better results faster that will ultimately help you increase the business that you're looking for or just increase the results that you're going for. All right, let's look at the second stage. So the second stage is we want to move into the realist mode. Now, the realist mode is very much a different state of mind and being from the dreamer stage. Because now we're wanting to think about, okay, so we've got all these great ideas. Now let's put a plan behind it. Now we need to look at operationally, how does this work? Like we want to draw down a little bit deeper and look for some more specifics than what we were doing at dreamer stage. And the question you would ask of yourself or the team is, what will I have to do to make this a reality? To make this a reality. Now, this is a very different question, and it's going to bring out very different responses. So now you're asking a different question of, like, what do we have to do? Think about the timing. Who do you need on the team? What are the resources? Like, when are you going to execute this? So this allows that all the great ideas that have come through from dreamer stage, now we're going to ground it. Now we're going to kind of put a few more nuts and bolts behind it. Now we're going to really extrapolate, when are we going to execute on this plan? So now the thinking is very much about how and when and where is this going to work, which is very different to that. Like, we're looking at it through a very different lens. And by physically moving the team to a different area, you want to get a state change so that they're now dropping into that very operational, functional mode, which is super different to when you've got that high creativity of let's just bring it all to the table. Now, once you've gone through this, you're going to have a very big list of different responses. You might get the team doing it all on on Post-it notes. So they're sticking Post-it notes all over a fresh piece of paper. So now you're starting to get some different results. We then move into the third phase. And the third phase is the critic. Now, critic is critical to actually looking for the blind spots of the concept or the idea. It's looking for what are the red flags that we need to consider now so we can improve and make this better. And the question we're asking is, what could go wrong? Now, let me be clear on this. This is not about dumping or pulling apart the idea and it's showing how broken it is and kind of really being negative about it. What we're looking for is a positive spin. Like, we want to see now what potentially is going to get in the way of this being an incredible success and figuring out what could we do differently. So it's looking for the gap and filling it. And when done well, it's going to give a really new insight and an edge to a concept, an idea, or a project that you're looking at, because you've been able to go, oh, hang on, have we thought about this blind spot that we hadn't noticed before? Like, before we pour in, huge amounts of people into this, time, resources, money, all of that, let's just slow it all down and have a look. And when a team can get really behind this, again, it's not about pulling it apart and saying, oh, this is all going to custard. Instead, it's going, well, how do we make this better? It's only going to strengthen the result you'll get, the performance of the team, but equally it could save you a lot of downtime, money wasted, because now you've actually got the space to go, okay, cool, we can see this now, let's put a plan together. So when I see teams and businesses doing this, I find that it gives them a competitive edge to getting to market really smart with a project or an idea. Incredible for team engagement, because there's a natural thinking for most people. They're either dreamers, great ideas, don't get a lot of stuff done, or don't get a lot of stuff complete, but they've got incredible genius with fresh content, fresh ideas and strategies of what we could create. You've got these people here who are incredible at their level of detail of planning, like ninjas of completion and execution and getting stuff done. However, what they're short of is some great fresh ideas to help them move forward. And then you've naturally got those people who see the gap. They see the what could go wrong and work really well with the team who can help fill the other two components. So when I see a team go through this, it brings a high level of engagement. It elevates the team from a productivity point of view, positioned well. Everyone adds value, not just this is better than this or this isn't as valuable as that. All three stages are equally as important, because collectively they're collaborating to give a stronger team commitment to getting stuff done. And I think now more than ever, we're, that unifying a team of a common goal to achieve what it is they want to achieve, and having that behind you will only give you better performance, better results, and certainly longevity in the marketplace.